from the Fox 5 studios, this is the Reb Zone Sports Show.
Two backs in this backfield in the go-go. A lot of misdirection. Take care of the ball.
Give right off the bat is to Vincent Davis. He's got some space. Across the 30. Davis. Tackle. No, he's up and dangling towards the end zone. A first play touchdown for the Rebels. How about the start for UNLV?
We can build this in. We will build this into an elite program and an elite college football team in the city of Vegas. And I'm honored to have the chance to do that.
How about that, scoring on the first play of the season? The Barry Odom era begins at UNLV with a dominating 44-14 win over Bryant, and the Rebels are heading into their Week 2 matchup against number 2 Michigan with some momentum. Welcome into the Reb Zone. I'm your host, Paloma Villicana, joined by UNLV football head coach Barry Odom. An exciting, electric atmosphere last night at Allegiant Stadium. What a way to open up the season 1-0 with your guys.
We're excited about the start. And, you know, the great thing at the end of the game, in the locker room, you could hear the guys talking about the improvements that we know that we left on the field. So the hunger is there. I was excited to open up in the stadium, thankful for the fans that were there. I thought you couldn't have scripted it any better on how to start a game. A great kickoff return, and then play number 1 from scrimmage. What a great job up front, blocking at the point of attack, and then Vincent making a great run to get it in the end zone. Electric way to start our season off.
Yeah, definitely a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz around the UNLV football team. Let's check out the highlights at Allegiant Stadium last night.
Very cool moment to see Stanley Cup champion Aiden Hill come out for the coin toss. VGK giving off some championship energy to the Rebels, and I think it rubbed off on him. UNLV's first play of the season is a 69-yard rushing touchdown from the Pittsburgh transfer. Vincent Davis Jr., the 5'9" running back, comes out with a bang in Las Vegas. Coach Marion's go-go offense is off to a strong start in the season opener. How about another small guy making a big play, the 5'9" freshman running back, turning on the Jets? His name is Jet Thomas for a reason. Thomas extends the Rebels' lead 14-0 over Bryant. Later in the first, say hello to the Rebels' new kicker, Jose Pisano. He is really good. A senior transfer from Missouri State boots a 48-yarder, and UNLV is up 17-0. The Rebels score on the first play of the first half, so why not score on the last play as well? Doug Brumfield showing off his legs, scoring his first rushing touchdown of the season. Rebels up 24-0 over Bryant at the half. Bulldogs finally respond. Ryan Clark able to break past Jonathan Baldwin into the end zone, and the Bulldogs are on the board 27-7. All right, Vegas, here's UNLV's X Factor, Jacob DeJesus. He lit it up in the Rebels spring game and lit it up last night with a 96-yard kickoff return. DeJesus is destined for greatness at UNLV. DeJesus would set up senior running back Donovan Lester to score the Rebels' 4th touchdown of the game. UNLV is rolling, and they're not done yet. 2:15 left in the third quarter. Give it to the freshman Jet Thomas. He was rolling in his UNLV debut, 2nd touchdown of the night for the young freshman, as the Rebels take a 41-7 lead heading into the 4th quarter. The Bulldogs would score again. Ryan Clark, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, as Bryant trails UNLV 41-14. But the former All-American Jose Pisano would seal the Rebels' first dub of the season. Final score 44-14. UNLV is 1-0 under head coach Barry Odom.
Definitely a great feeling. In terms of offense, we left a lot out there. I'll take ownership on that. It's the quarterback's job to get the offense going at the pace that we want to be at. But defense played well, executed on both sides of the ball, and it was just a great feeling to be out there and win with Coach O.
Well, I've never seen Doug Brumfield happier. His smile was wide after the game, posting a little video on Instagram. But I feel like Doug was trying to settle into the new offensive system and really try to find a groove last night.
I think part of that absolutely is correct. It takes so many moving parts to be hitting on all cylinders. I thought we ran the ball well early. We left some plays out there down the field in the vertical passing game that we had receivers open and didn't connect, but I thought Doug protected the football. I thought he got us out of some situations with his ability to extend plays, and he understands what is there for our offense to continue to move forward, because he sees that already. He's a mature competitor and will continue to grow in a positive direction. Yeah, no doubt he'll continue to grow with Coach Marion, a dual threat quarterback who's tall, lengthy, and brings a ton of experience. We'll want to highlight the offensive players that really stood out last night. Check out these three guys. The X Factor, Jacob De Jesus, a transfer from Modesto Junior College who made his D1 debut last night, and he was all over the field. Vincent Davis Jr., the running back that was flying under the radar, scoring the first touchdown of the game on the first play from scrimmage. And Jaden Jet Thomas. Remember this name, Vegas, Jet Thomas. You'll be hearing it a lot this season. A freshman running back from Atlanta, Georgia. Coach, want to go over all these three guys really having a strong debut at UNLV and bringing a lot of explosive juice to the offense. Yeah, you look at really in the return game, you can find hidden yardage throughout the game, and Jacob was electric in the return game, not only kickoff return but punt return. But that takes all guys getting blocks. We were fit up really well. Coach Shivas is our special teams coordinator and had a really good plan for us on how we needed to attack in the return game. But then our kids went and executed and at a high level. And then Vincent, the opening play, obviously huge for our team and momentum, and also he ran the ball well inside and out, made a couple good cuts, was able to bounce the ball outside. He's got good quickness. And then Jet, we think that he can be a special player. As a freshman, he's got tremendous vision. He's got a great jump cut, getting back north and south, running the ball. Elusive, doesn't take a big hit, and all three of those guys can be explosive in a number of ways in the way that our offense is built. Yeah, a lot of small, speedy Rebels out there. Young guys on this UNLV roster making big plays last night. That's great for the future of UNLV. But want to talk about special teams, Coach, and the importance of special teams in your program. You said you have one of the best special teams coordinator in the country with James Shibas. A new kicker this year, Jose Pisano, a transfer from Missouri State that was 3 of 3 last night in field goals, 4 of 4 in extra points. Talk about the execution on special teams last night. I thought it was so huge for our success. You look at average starting position throughout the course of the game, and we almost had a 20-yard advantage when you look at that from start to finish, and that's huge on punt coverage, on kickoff coverage, all the different things. And then the return game, we've spent a lot of time on it. We feel like we've got players in the right spots for that to be an advantage for us, and it certainly has to be. That needs to be a phase for us that helps us win games, and I thought that Jose stepped in last night, competed really well. The snap, the hold, the kick, the protection, all of those things were a good start for us, and I think that's got to continue to grow and help our team win. Yeah, I know you guys spent a lot of time on special teams this fall camp, so definitely great to see it in live action. Coming up next, we're taking a look at how Coach Shear's defense played last night. Great start for the Rebels D, but junior linebacker Jackson Woodard thinks they could have played more consistent on the defensive side of the ball. We'll hear Coach Odom's thoughts on his team's defensive performance and how the Rebels can improve this week when they get ready to take on number 2 Michigan on Saturday.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. It was our first game, so I'm happy with how we played our first game. But like Coach said, we were inconsistent, and that starts with me. There was drives where, I wasn't my best. So I think, inconsistency and being more consistent is the biggest thing that we can work on. We played, so good. It was, a good game, but, like Coach said, the inconsistency.
Welcome back to the Reb Zone. I'm Paloma Villicana, joined by UNLV Football head coach Barry Odom, and that was Jackson Woodard breaking down last night's defense and him just saying he wants to see more consistency on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like Bryant's quarterback, there were a few plays where he was able to escape the pocket and move the ball downfield. What consistency do you want to see from your guys moving forward?
Overall, I'm not going to complain about a win. We'll celebrate wins any way we can get them. I think we also understand the standard of how we want to play. We can be better, and we will be better. There were times, we didn't play really good on first down to get them behind the stick, so it ended up being a third down and short. I do think that our defense made a couple fourth down stops early that really helped control the game. Those were huge stops. We did some really good things. We can be better across the board. Just on, like Jackson was saying, our consistent play. Get them in third and long, and you can't give up a bomb down the field. Those chunk plays, explosive plays, as a defense, that takes you the toll if you're playing solid and then you give up a big play. So the consistency side, and a lot of new faces out there. We'll play better together. Excited about our start, but we'll continue to improve.
Yeah, I want to highlight a few players who really stood out on the defensive side of the ball last night. You're taking a look at a team captain on the left, Jackson Woodard, the transfer linebacker from Arkansas, and a new face on the UNLV football team, Thomas Anderson, a guy who was kind of flying under the radar this fall camp, a DB transfer from Independence Community College. He really flashed last night as well. And the sophomore linebacker, Marcel McDuffie, making some big plays out there in the linebacker core. But not a guy on here, Jere Williams, also an explosive DB, a team captain for UNLV. Coach, with these three guys leading the defense last night, what did you see just from their defensive effort to keep going strong down the stretch?
Yeah, we talk a lot about trying to populate the football, running to the ball, swarm the football, getting hats, as many as we can around it, because that's, if you're in the position to be able to do that, you can take your shot. You know that if you happen to miss the tackle, you've got somebody else there to clean it up. But I thought Jackson was very, very productive, as our linebackers need to be in this system. Marcel played well. I was excited to see some of the things that he was able to do. And then on the back end, as you mentioned, Thomas Anderson, his first meaningful snaps, obviously at this level, and he did some good things. Also, there were times that we had eye violations that got him in a bad spot. The pressure on being able to rush four and then second level blitzers, I thought at times we were able to get hits on the quarterback, which affected their throw, but also we can be more consistent in that way as well.
Yeah, definitely a lot to work on this week with Coach Shearer as the Rebels get ready to face Michigan on the road this Saturday for a 12:30 p.m. kickoff. Coming up next, we're diving into Coach Odom's new program at UNLV as we go inside the Fertitta football complex, taking a closer look at how the UNLV football team is using the #1 hospitality college in America to fuel the Rebels. The Reb Zone. We'll be right back.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
Welcome back to the Reb Zone. Last week we showed you the transformation of UNLV's strength and conditioning program and how Coach Fish is providing individualized, personalized training to each player. This week we head upstairs in the Fertitta football complex to take a look at how Coach Odom is taking advantage of the #1 hospitality school in the country. Take a look.
When it comes to building the total athlete, nutrition is just as important as the work put in on the football field. UNLV has the #1 hospitality college in the nation, and it's the students who are gaining hands-on experience cooking for the UNLV football team.
We really want to provide our students with hands-on experience, and that's through customer service, but hands-on cooking experience, and the whole process of, hey, this is the meal. We planned it, we ordered it, prepped it, now what? How do we get to service?
UNLV football dietitian Galena Lodge works hand in hand with the hospitality school, creating the football menu and making sure each player has come in for 2 meals a day during the season, 3 during fall camp.
Coach Odom came through the first week that we were doing camp and said, in 20-something years, he had never seen a team of players so happy. And so for us, I mean, of course, that really, really makes us feel great about what we're doing.
The Rebels are stretching more, eating more, and taking better care of themselves. A positive change that will have a major impact on the football field.
Hopefully, we see a reduction in injuries because they're eating better, their bodies are healthier, an increase in performance. Hopefully, our teams are doing better on the field or, in said arenas. But I mean, that's kind of the goal, is to continue that process and just to grow and expand so that eventually, I mean, I would love to see this program breakfast, lunch, dinner for all student athletes 7 days a week.
Well, no doubt this is my favorite part of the Reb Zone, really diving into Coach Odom's program and seeing how he's building the total athlete. But Coach, want to talk about your program being here in Las Vegas, the resources you have at UNLV to make an incredible impact on your team.
Well, that's just one example of resources that are here and available, the opportunities that are here, and then the collaboration with on campus within the athletic department, how important that is for the student athlete experience. You look at the meals and the preparation and all the work that goes into that. So many people that are required to pull that off, but then also it was made mention of, you know, the care and prevention of possibly making us a healthier team, the way that fits into having food, the proper nutrition, and then the understanding and the education piece of that, how important that is. It's a huge advantage for our program.
Yeah, Delina Lodge right here, the UNLV football dietitian. I was telling Coach Odom, I never see her not working. She's always taking care of the football players. But Coach, what transformation are you seeing from day one when you walked in at UNLV to where your program is now in terms of the nutrition and the stretching and the strength and conditioning program?
Yeah, I think it's taken time to understand and work together to show the entire program, the organization, the foundation on what that needs to look like for our team to achieve success. And it's not just the 3.5 hours on a Saturday, it's all the things that lead up to that to give us an opportunity. And I think there is a lot of wonderful people that are understanding and want to be part of it that are really helping our kids get in position to be successful.
Yeah, Coach Odom has an incredible staff at UNLV, and in the past couple years, I have to say, Coach, this is the healthiest I've seen the UNLV football team. So great strides over there at the Fertitta Football Complex. Coming up next, UNLV football is packing their bags to Ann Arbor. The Rebels are getting ready to take on #2 Michigan on the road this Saturday for a 12:30 p.m. kickoff. We'll take a look back at UNLV's last trip to the Big House and how UNLV is preparing for a Michigan team that will be without their head coach Jim Harbaugh on Saturday.
You're watching the Reb Zone Sports Show on Fox 5.
UNLV is packing their bags to Ann Arbor on Saturday. Fox 5 was on the road with the Rebels back in 2015 when UNLV lost to Michigan on the road 28-7. The Rebels are preparing to face #2 Michigan without their head coach Jim Harbaugh, who is serving a 3-game suspension to start the season for NCAA recruiting violations. Harbaugh is sidelined for the first 3 games of the season, and he'll be sidelined on Saturday, but he is still able to coach his team during the week. The Wolverines were still able to win their season opener yesterday over East Carolina 30-3 with their defensive coordinator Jesse Minter serving as acting head coach. The Rebels are headed to the Big House on Saturday, Coach. Big matchup this week, as you were mentioning earlier in the Reb Zone. Your guys are already looking at where you can improve on this week to get ready for Michigan.
I think it's so important that we understand, and we've been now 1 game week, so we understand what it takes, the preparation side of really what it needs to look like. That's extra film prep, the practice habits, all those things that will now be the next challenge of going on the road, and what does that look like for us. And if we'll prepare, and we challenged them last week to prepare like it's a nameless, faceless opponent, and that'll be the same strategy this week. The opponent is us. How good can we get? How can we, as a staff, put together a game plan that gives our kids a chance to be successful and play fast and understand what we're trying to get accomplished, and then go cut loose and enjoy the opportunity to play at one of the historic venues in college football.
What does it say about your football team that they were already in the locker room post-game last night, already talking with each other about what improvements they can make this week?
I think it says a lot about our kids.
Yeah.
They want to have success. They understand what the process looks like. Now you hear the leaders in the locker room saying the same thing that a coach might say, and that's positive signs for us to be in a position to continue to move forward each week.
Will anything be amplified this week to get ready to play in a venue over 100,000?
Yeah, I think it would be wise for us to spend time in the communication piece offensively, just because with that amount of people, obviously the volume will change. The ability to communicate, to make sure we're all on the same page, we'll spend some extra time on that, but our guys will be ready to go.
All right, we'll be ready to go too, packing our bags with UNLV football this Saturday for a trip to the big house. Well, next week on the Reb Zone, we are sitting down with the glue, the backbone of this UNLV football team, and that's UNLV legend Hunky Cooper, who is playing a major role in the success of this UNLV football team. We'll hear more from an emotional Hunky Cooper next week on why it's so important to him to be a mentor to the young men on this team and have a major impact in this program. Hunky Cooper had the opportunity to host over 100 alumni at this Saturday's home game. We'll hear more from him next week on the Reb Zone. We're getting ready to pack our bags to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Have a great Sunday night. We'll see you next week on the Reb Zone.